What are the penalties for war crimes? Have you ever wondered what happens to those who commit war crimes? The penalties for such serious violations can be severe and vary depending on the circumstances. War crimes include actions like murder, mistreatment of prisoners, targeting civilians, and unnecessary destruction. These acts are punishable under international law, which gained prominence after the Nuremberg Trials following World War II. When someone is accused of war crimes, they have the right to a fair trial. This trial is based on the facts and the law. One important principle is that simply following orders does not excuse someone from responsibility if they had a moral choice. This means that both commanders and soldiers can be held accountable for their actions. War crimes are prosecuted in various ways. International tribunals like the International Criminal Court or special courts can handle these cases. National courts can also take action if they have the proper jurisdiction. The penalties can include criminal prosecution, imprisonment, or even capital punishment, depending on the severity of the crime and the laws of the country involved. Now, let's look at the Vietnam War. This conflict was heavily influenced by the Cold War and the clash between communism and capitalism. The issue of war crimes during this time was very controversial. North Vietnam, for example, followed the Geneva Conventions but had specific reservations. They stated that prisoners of or convicted of war crimes would not receive certain protections. This reflects their view that those fighting against them could be treated as war criminals. From the communist perspective, the prosecution of war crimes was linked to their fight against imperialism. They often accused their opponents of committing war crimes, including the mistreatment of civilians and prisoners. During the Vietnam War, there were also debates about how to categorize prisoners. Distinguishing between prisoners of war and civilians accused of espionage led to different treatment and legal processes. In practice, penalties for war crimes in this context could involve military courts or special tribunals. Those found guilty could face imprisonment or execution. While communist states claim to uphold international law, they also reserve the right to deny protections to those they considered enemies. This reflects the harsh realities of wartime justice during a time of ideological conflict. In summary, the penalties for war crimes can include trials, imprisonment, and potentially death sentences. During the Vietnam War, communist governments enforced these penalties based on their legal interpretations and political struggles. The prosecution of war crimes was not just about justice but also tied to broader political narratives.